Hey folks. Okay, another episode here. Made some decent progress here in the last week or so, so I thought I'd share a couple things with you. First off, put a product down called Glue-Bit. Show you close up there. And it's two parts, and you mix this with this. And you basically brush it on with a brush, and I just coat all of the rivets in the bottom of the boat around the ribs, and especially at the back as well. I just goop it all on. One of these cans does this boat. So this is a 14-footer. So I've done a 16-footer with one of these, but it was really stretching it. So probably 2 for 16 and up. And anything over 18, you're probably going to get into a gallon. It's not cheap. I think it was about $100 shipped here, plus or minus maybe $110. But it works. So the other boat we have, I leave in the water for about 3 months of the year, and not a drop of water comes in. So it's good. A couple other things. I'm going to show you close up here. So I'm going to bring the camera right up and put it right here. Sorry about the jittering here. Oops. I'm going to tilt it down. I have to get really close here. So there you go there. So what I am doing is when you cut the arc for the floor, you want to be able to get an even arc on both sides. You don't want to just cut one side in and expect that to be obviously the shape of the hull. So what I do is this is 2 inches representing a foot here, okay? So this is 1 foot, 2 foot, and let's suppose that the arc is this. So what I do is I just take a scrap piece of foamular, and I basically just sort of curve it and arc it to join the dots up. So it comes out like something like this. Usually I put a can of spar or something like that to help hold, or I use my my leg to help sort of hold it in place. And that gets a pretty decent arc. So, and you just sort of shape it. It doesn't have to be perfect because you're never going to see it once it's in there, but you want it to be a pretty close representation of what the hull is. So if I'll show you in a second, but you can see it's pretty decent. The other thing is when you cut it, you want to cut this at a 45-degree angle, all the sides. That way it comes in real nice and tight to the boat. Do I have a scrap around here? Yeah. So you'll end up with something like that. So it's nice and tight to the hull. Okay? This gets you closer because obviously the hull's coming up at an angle like this. So it gets it nice and tight. So if I show you here, sorry for the movement, show you the front of the boat here. You kind of get an idea of what you have to do. So when you're cutting around these ribs, you want to get them fairly tight, but not so tight that it doesn't sit down properly. So, because you want to have a level floor. So when you're joining it up to the other part of the floor here, you want it nice and tight. Okay, now these are just literally set in there. There's no formula underneath or anything like that. They're just sitting there, but they're there just so that I can walk around in the boat right now. Okay, and it works great. So, so that's basically where we're at. I started shaping, and I'm going to move us back here, the front of the dash, which is a pretty radical departure from what I normally do. So this is going to be a windshieldless boat. I may end up putting little flip up, like little visor windows that if we decide, but the idea is to get to allow the wind to hit your face, but the wind itself is not going to hit your body, so you stay, well, relatively warm when you're driving, but you get the wind in the face kind of feeling, and there'll be great visibility. So, and I've arced it up like that so that down, and I'll bring over here, and I have a couple of gauges that are basically going to sit in somewhere around here. And then the steering wheel, which is not the right steering wheel, of course. This is just an old one I had lying around. Is going to sit in somewhere and up and around here. So probably about here actually. So that's the general idea here. It's just a template right now, but this is going to become the curve. I haven't sanded or done anything to it. I literally just cut it with a jigsaw. So there's lots of work to be done with it. This is going to be double thick. The sides are going to come up, as you can see, to about this height. And then they're going to come along and then curve back down to where the back of the seat is going to be, and it's going to arc over like this as well. And then this is going to basically come back in an arc down to about here and stop in about halfway through the splash well. So quite a very different design than before. The reason for bringing up the sides is because this is a small boat, it's fairly low, so I want to bring these up so we have a lot more protection from the waves in the water and the spray. And the second thing is to give it an interesting design to sort of allow us to sit up a little bit higher on the seats and not have to allow us to sit a little higher on the seats and be comfortable on those. I'm probably going to chop those down a little bit, but the idea is to be up, not sitting on the ground. There will be a bench basically going across here, so it's going to be an interesting journey here, and I'll tilt it up here so you can see me. So it's going to be an interesting journey getting this done. One last thing is, I did make a couple changes to the shed here. So the workbench, which is now over here, was along here. I moved it out, and you can see why. Because you have to be able to work with a 4x8 sheet of plywood. That wasn't going to be possible without using the boat as the workbench. And because I'm building up the sides and doing all sorts of stuff to it, excuse me, that won't be possible this time. So that's basically it. Next time, probably be into some of the interior stuff. So I'll show you putting the foamular down, and then we'll get into riveting the floor down. Anyway, take care, folks. Bye.